If you thought that 2022 couldn't get any weirder as a NASCAR fan, well, listen to this. North Wilkesboro is coming back. Yeah, in 2023, it has been announced, or will be announced, depending on when you watch this video, that North Wilkesboro will be the site of the NASCAR All-Star Race in 2023, ending a 27-year hiatus for the track at NASCAR's top level. And it looks like, based on leaks, that this will happen on Sunday, May 21st, 2023. Now, where we first learned that something was a little bit up with North Wilkesboro is that they're not going to dig up the track like they said they would after August. They're not going to have dirt racing in October. All that has been canceled. Instead, SMI has basically chosen to go ahead with the way the facility is now with the pavement. Go ahead with the racing surface as the Cars Tour, all the late model races, everything in August showed that this track is still raceable for the long term. And it really is a good thing in a lot of ways that they're doing this, because this worn down surface might be some of the best racing that NASCAR can see. Now, they're getting $18 million allocated to them from the North Carolina state budget for renovations, among other things, to get this track ready to go, race ready, have it ready for large-scale events. And now, because of the fact that North Wilkesboro will be added to the schedule, this also means in the long term, it gets even better. Why? Because you can add the TV money into that. And really, it makes North Wilkesboro a destination again, not only for fans, which we'll get into, but also for those in the industry. This is a track now that basically has become another home base for NASCAR the way it used to be before it was unceremoniously taken off in 1996. Now, North Wilkesboro recently reopened. And with Ryan Newman having won there and Dale Jr. racing to a third-place run in a much-publicized race, a lot of press has come onto North Wilkesboro Speedway. And while SMI CEO Marcus Smith had said in April that the trucks would be most likely, though 2024 at the earliest, it seems that the success that has been made from the late model racing, from local racing, from everything having to do with that final race on the old surface, at least what we thought was the final race, has seemed to have shifted both his mind as well as many in the industry. And we've heard for weeks, months even, that the NASCAR All-Star race and the location of that race and Fox's approval of it, well, that was the thing that was holding the 2023 schedule from being announced. And it makes sense now. Maybe NASCAR was holding out for this. Maybe SMI was holding out for this. After all, it won't be at Texas. It's hard to say overall, but it is something that makes sense when you look at the larger picture of it. Now, like I said before, May 21st, a Sunday, is when this race is slated to take place, but that might not be it, because it looks like the overall 3-day weekend of May 19th, 20th, and 21st is going to be on the slate as well. And what this says to me is that this makes it open for the Xfinity and the Truck Series. Why would you have 3 days of NASCAR coverage, 3 days of a NASCAR weekend, only to have Cup just have a 3-day weekend with a bunch of practices and qualifying for 2 days, especially this close to NASCAR's home base? It just makes sense that at least one of the lower series, Xfinity, but probably Trucks for sure, would be at this track. It fits the Truck Series in a lot of ways with these younger drivers coming up, racing at a short track. There's really no reason why not. And it would make sense as well, and be able to be publicized as well with the All-Star race as being Dale Jr.'s lone Xfinity race for next year. It would be close to home for both him and also Hellman's, and it would also be a really good way to bookend his efforts to bring this track back. And I think likely many former drivers would enter into different races in the weekend as well. Maybe some drivers who are actually eligible for the All-Star race, like former winners, we talked about Ryan Newman before, or Jimmy Johnson or someone like that, just because it is such a historic track. It is one of the only now 2 tracks on the NASCAR schedule that are still there from the very beginning, 75 years ago. And it opens the door as well for another series to come, the SRX, who has talked about being open to having North Wilkesboro on their schedule, and I would think that they're going to make every effort forward possible to do that. So it's really interesting the way that this has a ripple effect into next year's racing culture. Now, as good as it is to see this stuff happening, and as cool as it is to see this track come back, there are a few concerns that NASCAR will have to address with SMI. Number one is the traffic. The race that I talked about before with Dale Jr. had about 18 to maybe a little over 20,000 people there, a really big event for most standards. And they had some traffic problems. There was a lot of backups, and it took a while to get people in and out compared to a lot of other races. And if NASCAR adds seats like they probably will and has 30 to 40,000 there, this only will continue to grow the problem. Modern audiences just are really irritable with this. So even if it's not that big of a problem in the past, well, you need to reevaluate it with the way that it is now and at least try to have a streamlined way to fix it, unlike a lot of NASCAR tracks nowadays. Another big concern that I have personally as a fan is if they jack up the ticket prices. This event needs to be an olive branch to the Wilkes County community as well as old school fans and fans in general who want to go to this. Don't poison the well by price gouging. Make it affordable for a normal fan to go to and watch the stands fill. This is going to be a huge race, which is why my third and final concern is the channel. This race should not be on FS1. It needs to be on the big Fox network. It would be the first time ever for the All-Star race, and it would be for a good reason, because this is a momentous occasion for the sport. A large course correction, a large net positive, and the largest net possible should be used to cast out and to get as many people as possible. Many of those old fans that would come back with this news aren't going to have cable. You need to try and get them back in this way and make it just like the Clash. This is probably a bigger deal, honestly, than the LA Clash, as it's a way to show NASCAR fans that while they are going into the future with new ideas, they also are trying to keep those fans from the past that they since have scorned. Now, to end off, I want to give a few quotes that came from a leaked document last night, coming from members who were important to bringing this track back to the schedule in some way, and see what they had to say. Starting with Marcus Smith. He says, the NASCAR All-Star Race has always been the fans' race, and I can't think of a better way to celebrate the fans during NASCAR's 75th anniversary than returning to the North Wilkesboro Speedway. We couldn't have made this happen without the tremendous support from so many people, including Governor Cooper, our state legislature, NASCAR, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and of course, the people of Wilkes County. We've got a lot of work to do, but we've got the will to create something special alongside a community and a hard-working staff that will get it done. And finally, Dale Earnhardt Jr., probably the most instrumental of all of these people, said of it,
but everybody had so much joy and happiness for just being there. And I think that will be the experience that I have every time I go back to North Wilkesboro. There's something about it. It's just got a special place in our history, and I'm so excited to see what can happen beyond this. Not with the All-Star race is a great thing, but going forward, but North Wilkesboro can continue to contribute to our lives and to our families' lives.
Now, I want to say that I think it is absolutely amazing and pure poetic justice that North Wilkesboro is replacing a Texas date with the All-Star race. Texas is one of the largest reasons that it wasn't on the schedule anymore for the last 27 years, and seeing how the tables have turned is really fun as a fan to see. Now, with all of this being said, I want to hear what you think. How excited are you for North Wilkesboro's return? Are you going to show up, buy a ticket, watch on TV? Let me know everything you think about this in the comments down below. While you're at it, leave a like on this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel for more great NASCAR content. And thank you to all my channel members for your continued support. So until next time, have a good one.